Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, we'll do more than wish you well. We'll serve up a healthy heaping of medical matters. Then, safety for seniors. We'll focus on keeping your home free from fires. Are you down in the mouth? We'll share how you can begin to grin again. Plus, his art tells our town's history. We'll paint a picture of a particularly prolific creative Clevelander. And be ready. Changes are coming to veterans benefits. We'll propose ways to prepare.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Do you have a fear of falling? Well, it's well grounded. Nurse Christina Aldrich is here with stand-up advice to help keep us safely on our feet, especially in winter weather. Christina is the Trauma Program Coordinator and the Injury Prevention Coordinator at Metro Health. You cover a lot of territory there.
I do.
You say that falls are a really serious risk, especially for seniors. Why?
They are. Actually, falling is the leading cause of injury in seniors 65 and older. It's estimated that 1 out of 3 seniors will experience a fall. And out of those people who do fall, 1 in 5 will sustain a serious or even deadly injury.
Oof. All right, so why do falls tend to increase with age then?
It can be an interaction of factors. One factor is there may be medications that they're on that can be interacting together or making them feel a little bit off and affecting their balance or their vision. There's other vision and hearing changes that can take place as a person ages that can make them prone to falling. Muscle weakness and kind of a instability in gait and balance can cause elderly folks to fall. So it's kind of a mixture of factors.
All kinds of things.
Correct.
As we age. So, and winter weather, I'm assuming, brings with it a whole set of extra worries. But you have some tips to help us stay upright, right?
I do. So our main focus is preventing falls. We don't want to have to treat you in the hospital after you fall. So some of the most important things you can focus on to preventing falls is kind of just being very aware of what is going on. So coming from inside your house, people trek in slush in the winter, so you want to make sure to keep that very clean. Try to keep up any wet spots, clean those up right away. Use socks that have skids on the bottom. When you go to leave the house, you want to wear hard rubber-soled shoes that'll give you some traction, and there's even some things you can buy to put over your shoes, like these right here, that strap over the bottom of your shoes and act almost like chains on a tire.
Oh, excellent.
And those will give you more stability when you walk outside in the snow and the ice.
All right, so having someone or something to kind of lean on too is helpful, right?
Correct. So if you use a cane or a walker, use it just as the same as you would during regular weather. Use railings or bars whenever you can. Ask for help if you need to. A shoulder to grab onto is always helpful. And there's actually a tool that you can use to help yourself get in and out of the car that hooks onto the striker hook inside your car door and gives you a second sort of support as you're getting in and out of the car where it could be icy or wet.
All right, so that's excellent. Now, should we change how we walk, or do we just not go outside?
You can definitely still go outside. We don't want you to stay inside unless you have to be in there. So there's just special precautions to take. Go slow, allow yourself some extra time, be aware of your surroundings, look for things like ice, wet leaves, black ice especially, any kind of slush. It's best to kind of change your balance a little bit, kind of bend your knees and get yourself a little lower to the ground. A lower center of gravity gives you a little bit more balance, and kind of walk slowly as you go through the ice and the snow, just maintaining that center of balance.
Okay, any other quick advice?
I would just say be your own advocate, and if you live in a place where someone should be cleaning up or putting down salt or shoveling the snow, make sure that they are doing that. Always ask for help. If you're leaving to go outside, tell someone where you're going and have some sort of plan, and think to yourself, if I were to fall, what would I do? So have a cell phone, tell your neighbors where you're going, and prevent the fall so we don't have to see you at the hospital.
Yeah, excellent advice. Avoid injury and the serious effects of a fall by following Christina's expert advice. Then you'll weather the slippery season safely. My thanks to Christina for joining us today.
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or visit their website, www.metrohealth.org. Next, keeping the home fires burning safely. But first, Sir Francis Bacon was a man with a great mind, politician, philosopher, and the father of empirical thought. Bacon, you would believe, couldn't be bought. So why was he fined £40,000 and given a personal tour of the Tower of London? We'll witness why he was a wanted man when we return.
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
Sir Francis Bacon was blamed for taking bribes. A conduct, while incorrect, was customary at that time. His response? I am as innocent as any man born on St. Innocent's Day. The king seemed to concur, not only setting the prisoner free, but paying the fine himself.
We tend to think of fire safety as something we teach our kids and our grandkids. However, the truth is that seniors are just as susceptible to succumbing to a fire as children are. Larry Gray is here to arm us against this alarming statistic. Larry is the Public Information Officer for the Cleveland Division of Fire. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lori.
And actually, this is such a concern, you actually have a program that you go out and present to people in the community, correct?
Yes, we do. There's a program that we have called Remembering When, and what this program consists of is it talks about 8 fall messages and 8 fire messages that we do with the Division of Aging with the City of Cleveland. We go out and we do senior citizen buildings, senior citizens homes, senior citizen community centers, and we discuss issues about fire safety with seniors in the city.
And that's great, because people forget, right?
Yes, they do.
We're going to highlight a few of those safety tips today. We're going to start with cooking.
Cooking is the #1 cause of fire, and because of that, we want to talk about a few things that seniors need to be thinking about. First thing we want to talk about is mismedication. There's a lot of seniors out there that when they're cooking, they tend to have a tendency to mismedicate. What we want them to make sure they understand is the importance of medicating first and cooking second, because if you're taking some medication and you take the improper medication because let's say you have the wrong glasses or you haven't had your vision checked for a while or you're not able to see well or hear well, you might mismedicate and then you'll be drowsy and you're not knowing that you can doze off. Okay. So mismedication can be a problem.
Medicate first,
cook second.
All right.
Second thing we want to talk about is making sure that you stay at the stove. You don't want to walk away from the stove when you're cooking. That's a big problem in the city because people have a tendency to get distracted. So we want to make sure we emphasize to stay at the stove. Third thing is we want to alert our seniors to make sure that if you're cooking, that you wear tight-fit clothes. You don't want to have items that are very loose and acceptable to getting burned. So you want to have tight-knit clothes on when you're cooking at the stove. And finally, never walk away and leave a stove unattended. If you leave a stove unattended, again, things can boil over, burn, and the potential of having a fire exists. And finally, if you do have a fire, the old myth about water, no. You want to take the lid,
put the lid on it,
and slide the lid across. Correct.
All right. And smoke detectors are really important too. That has to be on the must-have list. Absolutely.
Smoke detectors are definitely your first line of defense in a fire. So with smoke alarms, there are different types of smoke alarms on the system. And we talked about earlier about sometimes you might have difficulty with hearing. So there are a variety of smoke alarms on the market. I've brought 2 actually here. For example, this is what you would call a normal standard smoke alarm.
That's your everyday run-of-the-mill smoke detector.
Everyday run-of-the-mill smoke detector. This one here makes a sound, and if you don't mind, I'll play both sounds for you. This one here chirps like this. It makes a very simple sound. And that's
loud enough for many people, but not always loud enough for hard of hearing individuals.
Exactly. So there are models on the market that you can buy for seniors that are hard of hearing. And unfortunately, when you get a model like that, what you do is you get one and it's also loud. as you can see what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
That one makes a lot of noise. So what we want to do is prepare seniors to understand that if you have a situation where you're not able to hear this one, you want to buy an ultra loud one. Second thing is they need to check the batteries. A lot of seniors can't reach the ceiling to touch the batteries, but what you can do in an event is ask a neighbor or ask a family member. If a neighbor or a family member can't assist you, an easy way to check the batteries is to just get a broom and actually use the broom handle to push it up to the ceiling, and that'll push the button for you. That way you won't have to use a ladder or step stool to get on it, and the potential of a fall exists.
These are great tips. I'm sure there are more. I wish we had more time. There are several other must-know tips we don't have the time for, so use the information that's coming up next to learn more. My thanks to Larry Gray for giving us this vital fire safety lesson.
To learn more, contact Cleveland Fire Headquarters at 216-664-6800 or log on to www.city.cleveland.oh.us and choose Fire under City Departments. Next, turn that frown upside down. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Understanding the economic outlook is important for your investments. For a market review and an economic update, attend a complimentary seminar presented by the Lineweaver Financial Group. The event takes place Tuesday, January 26th at 6 p.m. and again Thursday, January 28th at 1 p.m. at the Lineweaver offices in Valley View. To reserve your seat, call 1-888-313-4009.
We talk a lot about your Act 3, that time after retirement when you can create a whole new type of life, one that will make you smile almost every day. But to keep that smile, you need to follow some simple steps, 3 simple steps, in fact, to keep your teeth in tip-top shape. Dentist Steve Marsh is here to count off these easy-to-do items. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Lori, for having me.
You say there's 3 basic items that people mostly ask about.
Well,
It's toothbrushes, toothpaste, and flosses.
And we still get that question all the time. And recently I went to a drugstore, a CVS actually, and you look in their aisle and you say, oh my gosh, what do I pick? And in fact, here's a picture that of a CVS.
It sounds simple until you walk in.
and it's funny because I actually spoke to the Northeastern group of pharmacists recently, and I talked to them and I said, so when they come to you and they look at that and they say, what should I use, what do you say? And so that was sort of my lecture, my educational moment with them is, what do you choose? So I thought I'd start with toothbrushes.
Okay.
So toothbrushes, there's the old manual one that we use, and we always advise soft toothbrushes. I use the analogy, if you have a car that's dirty, you don't have to scrub into the paint. You just want to get the debris off. The other thing, especially for seniors, is we see a lot of electric toothbrushes. You see expensive ones, you see ones that aren't as expensive. Not quite as much noise as your fire alarm, but that's something you can again use. These run $5 to $10. They do a very good job, especially if you have things like arthritis. So again, the key is really a soft bristle. Okay, and then you have to put something on that brush, so there's toothpaste. Toothpaste. So I'm going to hold up 2 of my favorite and most popular ones. And you can see here again, choosing is very difficult. This is actually, in the box is actually Arm & Hammer's one, and we believe in a baking soda toothpaste during the day. It also has fluoride. Fluoride's very important. And so the salt actually, which is what baking soda is, helps kill bacteria. Oh, okay. So I believe in that with some peroxide in it. And then in my right hand here, I'm holding Prevident. It's called Prevident 5000. It's good for people with dry mouth. That happens with seniors. And this is a highly fluoridated toothpaste. It comes by prescription only by your dentist. And it's something you can use before you go to bed. You rinse your mouth after you're done brushing, and so your teeth are coated all night with fluoride. Oh, that's excellent. And the last piece of the puzzle, floss. Floss. So floss is important because a lot of decay happens between teeth. People don't get the food out, and so we use Glide. That's our favorite one. It's like a Teflon one. But people always ask me waxed or unwaxed. The important thing is not whether it's waxed or unwaxed, but you need to use it to remove those food particles. We're also seeing a lot of decay in teenagers from energy bars, Gatorade, that sort of thing. So you need the combination of a good toothbrush, a good toothpaste, and floss. All right.
And what happens if you don't take these simple steps?
Well, then you have to come see us to remove decay, and unfortunately we see lots and lots of decay.
You've got a couple pictures that display that, huh?
Yeah, and so we'll talk about what we did and how we responded to them. And this is actually a 22-year-old woman who came to me very recently. You can see there's been breakdown on her central incisor. We did a little reshaping, and you start to see what's called decalcification. It's very common with kids who have had braces. It's also common with people who wear partials in our age group because they hold the food to the teeth. You need to eliminate the food, and then as a dentist we clean it out, reshape it, and then put in tooth color restorations to make sure the tooth is whole. It's very much analogous to removing, let's say, rust on a car. This is somebody who really didn't take care for many years. You can see some old silver fillings, some breakage of teeth, some lost teeth, and today we restore them with porcelain and porcelain crowns and veneers. Excellent. So the key thing is prevention. The good news is today, after prevention, if it hasn't worked or you've sort of let things go, as a dentist, we can do things in a very cosmetic way, easy, and restore teeth to their normal function. But then you still have to use them.
You still got to keep up it.
You still got to keep it up, absolutely.
All right, a beautiful, healthy smile is easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, the right toothbrush. 2, the right toothpaste. And 3, floss. Use these simple tools to keep your teeth in terrific shape. My thanks to Steve for helping us brush up on the basics.
Thanks, Laura.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com. Next, brush stroke stories. It's time to get up and go, an exercise segment on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, I'm Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and we are here today to show you how to do a kneeling Superman. This is an excellent exercise, Lori, that's not only going to work the core, but also the lower back. You ready to go?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right, we're going to start this exercise on all fours. Here in the studio today, we have our exercise mats. You at home, go ahead and grab a spot on the floor. We're going to start with our hands about shoulder width apart. We also want our knees the same. Looking good. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to start with our right arm straight out in front, and we're simply going to try to get our left leg straight out behind us in the back here, okay? We're going to hold that for a 3 count, keep your balance, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll switch sides.
Oh, okay.
So left arm straight out, right leg out, and we're going to hold it again for a 3 count. Okay, we're looking for 12 to 15 repetitions. How you feeling?
Oh, out of balance.
You got it. Keep your balance. All right, everybody, 12 to 15 repetitions, 2 to 3 times a week. And now it's your turn to get up and go. There you go. Perfect. All right.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
To uncover the picturesque past of our area, it's best to look beyond history books. Now there's an exhibit that paints a unique portrait of our region by a very creative Clevelander. Jenna Thomas is here to present a preview. Jenna is a museum interpreter at the Cleveland History Center of the Western Reserve Historical Society. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So this artist's name is Frank N. Wilcox. Now they call him artist as historian. So what does that mean?
Well, essentially that means that he recorded history in a very visual way. He was a Clevelander and he loved this city, so he did indeed capture the essence of Cleveland.
In his paintings and portraits and stuff. So,
exactly.
So his family was from this area?
They were indeed, yes. His family, the Snow and Wilcox family, came over in 1800, and they were very influential in creating the growth in Northeast Ohio. They were also very influential in helping his own growth artistically. Not a lot of families supported their child going into the arts, of course.
No money in art.
No money in art. But Frank's family was very, very supportive, and they really did help him. They actually had their own big reunions where they would stage beautiful theatrical and musical performances.
Oh boy, so, and the Cleveland School of Art played a big part in his education and his career, right? So tell us about that.
Indeed it did, yes. He was actually a student there from 1906 to 1910, and then he ended up being a professor there as well. He started in 1913. He taught design, drawing, printmaking, and painting, and he was there for 44 years.
Oh my goodness.
A long time. During his tenure there, he became known as the Dean of the Cleveland School of Painters. And this teaching allowed him to travel a lot, so he was able to go to the rest of the United States, to Canada, and to Europe, where he always recorded what he saw. He was always the passenger. He never learned how to drive, so he was able to sketch as someone drove him around. He was very much the recorder of his own voyage.
But the exhibit focuses on Cleveland, right?
Exactly, yes, it is indeed Cleveland. All of his works in this exhibit are going to really focus on the history of Cleveland and the greater Ohio region.
Okay, and we have a couple of pictures, I think, that his paintings or his drawings, whatever. Here's the first one, so talk a little bit about that.
Yes, this is the Snow family gathering, and we've already mentioned that Frank's family was very influential to himself and to Cleveland, and this is the Snow family. This is his mother's side of the family, just a very casual outing on the porch.
Oh, another.
Yes, this is the canal lock. Now, Frank was very interested in canals, and of course, up until 1860, Ohio had over 1,000 miles of canals. Frank did quite a lot of work recreating them and mapping them out for us, and this is an example of that work. And this last one is the Standing Stone Trail. He did wonderful work with Native American trails. He was very interested in, once again, mapping out those trails, and he did that with trails and towns of the Native Americans. Now, today, of course, you cannot see trails of the Native Americans, but if you go to the Cleveland History Center, you will be able to immerse yourself in his works, where we have many of those.
So I can see why the painter is the historian.
Exactly.
He's showing us how things used to be.
Very much so.
There's also a couple extras with the exhibit, so what are those?
Yes, we have a companion gallery that is connected to our larger gallery, and it is going to focus on the rich history of the Wilcox family as well as the Snow family, and you will be able to get to know Frank Wilcox, the man. Also, our guest curator, Bill Sheely, has been very good about bringing together all of these wonderful paintings, which would otherwise be in private collections. So the Cleveland History Center is the only place you can see this. However, there is a collaboration with the Cleveland Institute of Art, where they have some works of Frank to honor his 44 years with that institution.
Sounds very interesting.
It is.
These paintings give us a peek into our past, so be sure to see them before this exhibit is history. Frank N. Wilcox, Artist as Historian, will be on display through April. To learn more, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Jenna Thomas for a beautifully artistic history lesson.
For more information, call the Western Reserve Historical Society at 216-721-5722 or click to www.wrhs.org. Next, our veterans deserve more, but will they now be offered less?
Here at Metro Health, you know you matter when it matters most. Here, we are the city's best at preparing for the world's worst. Here, we are the only verified burn center in Ohio for adults and children. Here, you'll find exceptional clinicians with extraordinary hearts. So the work we do here at Metro Health makes an impact here, out here, and right here. Metro Health, we're here for you, for all of you.
About a month ago, we reported on huge changes coming to one of the VA's benefit programs for aged and ill veterans. We owe our lives and our freedoms to our servicemen and women. They're willing to give their all for the USA. The Veterans Administration does very little to explain the available benefits to veterans. The VA plans to enact these change regulations without a vote of the people or of the legislature. So here to explain more is my law partner, Mike Solomon.
Hi, Lori.
So tell us again, what is the benefit being changed?
Okay, well, this is a benefit called aid and attendance, and what that is a benefit available to veterans or their surviving spouses if they need both financial and health care assistance. And most veterans and their surviving spouses are just unaware of this benefit. And the benefit, you're eligible if you've been a veteran for 90 days in the service, 1 day in a war situation, you haven't been dishonorably discharged, you have to be 65 or the surviving spouse 65 or older, and you need help with your daily activities, that's bathing and feeding yourself, those sort of things. So that's how you qualify for the program. Now there are limitations to the amount of assets you can have.
Okay, so how much in assets can you keep?
Well, a married couple, they can keep $80,000 plus the home, the land around it, a car, personal possessions, prepaid funerals, those items, plus $80,000. If you're single, it's $40,000.
Okay, so what if your assets are over that limit?
Well, you lose your benefits. So what's happened is that they're coming up with these new regulations you mentioned, And under the new rules, the one good thing is they've increased the amount of assets you can have to match the Medicaid assets. So that whether you're single or married. So that's $119,220. So you get to have that amount. And if you're above that, plus the house and those items I talked about. If you're above that, you're disqualified. But you can right now under the rules, you can give away your assets, unlike Medicaid. You can give them away immediately to your family or to a specialized trust, and then you can qualify for the Veterans Aid and Attendance Program.
Okay, so it sounds like the gifting rules here are being changed. So what is that change?
Right, so what they've done is they've now added a look-back period, the 3-year rule. Medicaid has a 5-year rule. Now it's a 3-year rule. So if you've given away assets in that 3-year period, you have an ineligibility period, much like Medicaid, but the rules are much more unfair. They're tougher than Medicaid. For example, let's say you gave away $50,000. If you're a married veteran, you take your benefit that you'd be entitled to, which is on the screen, $2,120, divided into the 50, that's 23 and a half months. But that you're not eligible for this program. If you're single, your benefit's only $1,149, so when you divide that into 50,000, it's 43 and a half months. So it's a really long period, but you're not eligible for the VA benefit. Makes it very tough. So
these changes are coming soon. What do we do?
Well, what you ought to do is do planning now. You ought to meet, if you think you're going to need this benefit in a short period of time, sit down with a VA accredited attorney, because there are all sorts of special rules you have to know. Sit down with someone like that. I think you are.
I am.
That's right. And and think about getting that application in before the rules change, because if you get it in and you can do your planning, then you might not have that 3-year ineligibility period rule.
Good advice. These new rules are a major disservice to our proud servicemen and women to whom we owe our freedom. You need to plan now to obtain benefits. For more information, contact Mike at the number coming up next, or check our website at ssnplaw.com for more information. And you can get on our email list either on the website or by calling us, and we'll let you know when things are happening.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. Until next week, when we've got lots more great information, please be sure to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.